Hi everyone, and welcome to Celebrity Sandwich. I'm Andrew McConnell, and today I'm doing a riff on the Continental roll. The Continental roll is of sorts, a selection of some of my favourite things. It is the closest thing to a meat lover's pizza in a sandwich. But my riff on the Continental roll includes one of my favourite ingredients, and that's nduja, which is a very spicy, hot, soft salami. We've taken this and we've whipped it with a little bit of chicken fat until it's nice and smooth. Some mortadella and some honey roast ham. Mustard butter, which is 1 part mustard, 2 parts butter. Sour gherkins, which were thinly sliced. This is what really gives it a good kick. And also some provolone cheese. The bread I'm using is a ciabatta roll, which I think has got great flavour, sourdough flavour. It's got a great crust and just one of these perfect vehicles for the perfect sandwich. I have a rule with rolls, especially ciabatta. Before midday, I cut them open and use them. After midday, I always like to give them a quick flash in the oven or the toasted sandwich press just to refresh them. So let's make the sandwich. First up, slice the bun evenly across in half, so it's similar thickness on both sides. Now we're going to start by constructing the sandwich and building the sandwich by the foundation by using the nduja, the whipped spicy Italian sausage. Now a good substitute for this is a pate, just a good chicken liver pate. And if you like it spicy, then I'd add a couple of pickled chilies as well, just to give it the kick. Now, I always make sure I butter and take all of the ingredients all the way to the edge of the sandwich. It has to be structurally sound. So next up, mortadella. I like the flavour. So a good 2 slices there. And I fold these carefully so they sit right up to the edge of the sandwich. Next up, we're going with honey roast ham. Now honey roast ham comes in many, I suppose, guises. I'm always looking for hand-cut ham that's been smoked on site at a deli, preferably, or a butcher, and then glazed with a heady amount of honey, which is looking pretty good. Next up, I've got some provolone cheese. Again, 2 to 3 slices, folded and so that it sits just nicely on the top of the meat. Next up, we've got the pickles. You can purchase pretty much anywhere pre-sliced pickles, or just run them over a mandolin, or cut them as thin as you can with your knife. And then I just line these up like so. There's so many different pickles available on the market, but I just prefer the good old-fashioned dill pickle. Now the last layer of mustard butter, always ensure that you have a good amount right up to the edges, because this is what helps hold the whole sandwich together. Unlike growing up, being one of 6 kids, we always had to make our own sandwiches. And it was at that point in time in my life, it wasn't something I ever paid much attention to. So more often than not, the sandwich by the time I got to it at lunchtime had fallen apart, which was disappointing, a hard lesson to learn. However, growing up, I think the extent was the most adventurous may have been tuna, but generally it was, I'm a Vegemite white bread guy growing up. So this is a long way, not out of my comfort zone, but a long way away from the school lunch that I had growing up. Now, finally, the buttered top on the pickles and then press. Now I have a strange ritual with sandwiches, and what's important is to let the sandwich rest. So whenever we build the sandwich, we always weight the sandwich for at least a minute. This helps the butter stick to the ham, the pickles stick to the cheese, and vice versa. After that, we're going to turn the sandwich around and cut it crosswise, same direction as the pickles, with a ridiculously sharp serrated edge knife. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. It's delicious. It's a combination of the heat, crunch of cucumber, you can taste the mustard and the butter, and nothing is really dominating too much. Absolutely pre-sliced for fairy bread, and a lot of sandwiches not pre-sliced for any roll whatsoever. I think butter is good, but whipped butter is much better. So go for the spreadable butter, but make sure it's Australian. Diagonal for fairy bread, but that's about it. It comes back to ratio. The diagonal corners kill the ratio. Definitely crunchy. Vegemite, hands down. BLT, P, B, and J, sorry, doesn't cut it. I think club. REUBEN in my life has come and gone, but club is a stayer. I judge my hotels based on their club sandwich quality. KATSU SANDO, for sure. The salad sandwich at morning market. Food and wine brings Victorians together, without a doubt. And actually, it brings most people together. You know, there's a few things to consider when building a sandwich. And I think one thing that's often overlooked is the question of ratio. And that's certainly the case when it comes to using a thick ciabatta roll. With a roll with so much bread and carbs, you really need a lot of filling. You don't want just a small, thin slice of ham. I think it should be layered, it should be generous. Almost 50% filling to 50% bread is the ratio I'm after, not just in this sandwich, but most sandwiches. Thanks for joining me at home today to make my version of the Continental roll. Please head to Victoria together to see some other fantastic sandwiches.